What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Ruthless Podcast. I'm Jonathan Gonzalez, and I'm here with...
I'm Jeff Luna.
And today we got a couple special guests. One special co-host. First of all, who are you over here, Mr. Sir?
Carlos Corcolas.
Cool. And what do you do? Where are you from?
I'm from La Mirada. I have a company called The Pin Deli that does enamel pins, and that's about it.
Cool. I think before we get to our special guest here, Carlos wanted to come on because I think he not only is like infatuated with the story of our guest, but he wanted to ask some questions, and I think he'll help build the story and really help like just inspire a lot of people out there, ask the right questions, right? So, but without further ado, we got Mr. Tumo Beers, Mr. Dos Mas. What's up? Of Dos Mas Studios.
Dos Mas.
What's up, brothers? It's nice to be here.
For anyone out there, man, who doesn't know who you are, what you do, they're missing out. Give them the lowdown. Who are you? What do you do?
Basically an artist slash go-getter, dog. I don't know. Self-improvement junkie.
Hustler,
program addict. Yeah, dude.
Don't sell yourself short, man. I'm a fucking artist, dog.
Yeah, nah, for sure.
Gym
but it still feels
inspiration.
funny every single time somebody asks me that question, you know?
Yeah.
It still feels like, I don't know. You know, I grew up as a graffiti artist, so it's like artists were always corny to me.
Yeah.
So it's like to be of like, you know, living off of what I do now, it still feels funny when I hear myself say like, "Oh, I'm an artist." You know,
I'm a full-time
it still
artist,
feels,
right?
yeah, it still feels weird. I don't think it'll ever not feel weird, just because the roots run deep, you know. So, yeah, artist.
So you mentioned
artist number
graffiti,
one.
right? So is that how you is that like how you first got into art?
Yeah, that was definitely my introduction to art. It was like, you know, skating like conversed into all my homies were skating. Then, you know, like one of the homies had a marker, and like we were in church. Like I was in church, like my homie that like gave me my first name, we were at church in class, in like a youth class, and he had like slaps, and we were riding on. He was riding on slaps. I was like, "What are you doing, dude? What the fuck?" And then he's like, "Oh, I'm a tagger, dude." I was like, "What? And he's like, you know, like graffiti on the walls and stuff. I was like, "Yeah." I was like, "You do that?" He's like, "Yeah, dude, I do that." I was like, "What's up? Let me try." And, you know, and then I was like, "But what do I write?" He's like, "You need a name. You got to think of a name." And then like we went back and forth, and then I had like weird ass names when I was a little kid, and then it transitioned into like, you know, me figuring out, like I started paying attention to shit on the walls, like, yo, what is that? What the fuck is that? What the fuck is that? You know, seeing it everywhere, like all over. So then it just like gave me like a little drive to be like, I could do that. I want to do that now, you know? And then starting to like skate with the homies more, and like all the homies were tagging. So it's like, it was just kind of the thing to do when we're just mobbing around everywhere, skating, we're just tagging, like, you know, catching tags everywhere. And then it transitioned as I got into high school. Once I got into high school, it was like game over. I just started getting better. I just wanted to get better. I started, you know, like just finding myself, finding like an identity outside of sports, because that's like all I knew, and that's all I was good at. So that was my only identity. I was never good at school. Like I couldn't like, I had really bad grades. I was getting by, you know, I wasn't passing, I wasn't flunking and shit. But, you know, like that was my first identity with sports, and then it transitioned into, you know, painting, and then like started catching, you know, wind, having like all, like being able, like a little kind of brotherhood, going out with your homies and going tagging, just like adrenaline rush. And like, you know, somebody telling me, "Hey, I seen your tag, you know," and that's where it kind of like
Get you hyped.
sparked. Yeah, that's where like I would say like what sparked me to be like, to want to be better. It's like, I want to be better. Like these fools are sick as fuck out here. Like I want to be better than my homie, at least, you know, like be better than my homie. Then when I was better, like felt like I started being better than my homies, I was like, "Oh, I'm better at this. I'm better." Like, you know, just kind of, it was just like a creative drive that was like behind me, and that was like pushing towards.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So it was more of like a ego not even like an art thing to begin with, more like
Yeah.
ego, I guess, quote unquote, but
That's
like
the way to put it.
competitive. You're
Yeah, competitive.
Because
Yes,
sports,
you know what? Because
right?
of sports, I think that's what like drove me. Like it was always like, you know, don't let that guy hit you that hard. Like, you know, hit him harder.
What
And it's
sports
like,
did you play?
Played football, baseball, growing up. Like just those two, like back to back my whole entire life. Dude, since I learned how to walk, bro.
Yeah.
Like my body's so fucked up from that shit. Like, I'm not letting my kids play sports and shit until they're like older.
So then back in high school, is that how Dos Mas started? Or did you start, like, how did you come about that?
Yeah, so in high school, that's when it became real, because I started getting good and I started like really.
But you were like tagging like Dos Mas on the wall, sticker
No,
stuff
it was
and know?
Dos Mas. Back in the day, it was I had like another nickname and shit. Yeah.
You know about it?
Nah, yeah, it was BS Bullshitter, but like BS1 Bullshitter,
okay.
BSer, yeah. But I wasn't cracking like everybody, but I was just like, for me, I was just like, I felt like, I just felt really good doing it and shit, you know? And I was getting really good, and yeah, then shit just happens.
What for someone out there who's not a tagger, never involved in the world, right? Kind of naive to it or ignorant to it. What is getting good as a tagger? Is it actually like the art behind it, or it's just like you're a hustler and you're like one-upping guys? You're always one-upping somebody. Like,
see, for me, I wasn't super active, but I was getting really clean with like letters, and I was getting real clean with my feelings, and like, you know, stuff like that to me like, I don't know, I cared about letters. Like, that's, I think, where my love for lines came from, is from, you know, getting a clean line when I'm drawing my letters out and shit like that, you know? I feel like that's really like one of the deep roots of me falling in love with lines, weights of lines, like have the line flare up on this part but not on this part, and give it a different look, you know? So that all came into like play into what I do now, you know?
Mm-hmm. Prior to that, so that was like high school, right?
That was high school, yeah.
Prior to that, I'm just curious because like as a kid growing up, did you have like artistic tendencies, or this was like for sure like the beginning of that?
No, when I was younger, anything before like graffiti, it was funny. Like, I wasn't nothing. It doesn't come from anybody in my family. Like, my dad's brother, rest in peace, my uncle, I got named after him, and my grandma always says like I have my uncle's name, dude, and she used to say like he was the artist of the family. He used to always draw. He was a DJ. Like, he was super sick. Rest in peace. So it's like sometimes I feel like I hold his energy, and I'm like, oh, that's fire, you know? Like, my grandma always tells me, she's like, you're just like your uncle. You're just like your uncle. And I'm like, dude, that's so sick. She shows me drawings and stuff they used to do. He's sick, dude. He was super sick. So I was just like, damn, that's fire. But other than that, I didn't grow up around, you know, like I grew up in pretty traditional South Central / Whittier family. Yeah, you know, with grandma. I grew up like raised by my grandparents until we moved to Whittier. Then once it was in Whittier, it was, you know.
So talking about your roots, so you were raised by your grandparents. How old were you when you moved from South Central to Whittier?
It was about like 7 or 8, something like that. Yeah, 7 or 8, and 6, 7 or 8. I can't remember. I have the worst memory too. But yeah. We moved over here and then started, you know, I wasn't getting babysat by my grandparents anymore. It was like my tias or my mom's good friend, and then like kind of like a boys and girls club for like after school stuff, and I just stay in like after school programs till my mom got out. Yeah.
So they kept you out of trouble pretty good, as best as they could.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, shit. If I would have grew up over there, I knew it would have been no good. Like, it just would have been all bad for everybody in our family. But my mom's an angel, dude. She got us out. So, you know, she's the biggest hustler I know. So, she's like, you know, we moved to Whittier off of Section 8. So it's like, you know, my mom finessed it to get a house out here, and like, dude, my dad was in jail when we first moved over here. You know. Yeah. So it was like it was dope.
That's a big deal. For sure.
Did you play sports all 4 years in high school, or like once you got into?
Yeah, so I played sport. I played football. So I played baseball and football. Baseball my freshman year, I played baseball, but I didn't make grades, dude. I'm telling you, I was fuck up in high school. I passed, you know, I graduated, quit playing. But like my freshman year, I played football, and then I didn't make grades for baseball, and then my sophomore year, I didn't have grades, so my parents didn't let me play football because they were mad at me because I didn't get my grades right. So then I played baseball sophomore year, and then like my junior and senior year, I was like, fuck baseball, I just want to be really good at football. So I just put like everything into football, and then I played volleyball like my senior year of high school. That shit was cool as fuck.
There you go.
What position you play in football?
Football, outside linebacker, like punt returner and like shit like that, yeah.
Defense, special teams.
Yeah.
Cool. And then, go ahead.
So once like graduation came around, like you graduated, what did your mom tell you after that? Did she have like a plan set up for you, or like were you open to your mom about like you going to go tag? Did she know you were like artistic at the time or any of that, or no?
Yeah, hell yeah. Funny story is like, so I got caught. Like in high school, I was on probation damn near like my whole entire life in probation. Like I had to check in with a PO every day and shit. Mm-hmm. And dude, I violated probation like 3 times. My mom bailed me out. She bailed me from going to jail for like 2 of the times, and then, you know, like the first one was my first offense, but like I constantly I was like, she knew I was like, I used to have black books all in my room. Like I used to draw every day when I get home from school. Like I'd be painting in black books, or she kept finding like cans or some shit, like markers inside my room and shit. She would like get mad at me, but she just knew it was like something I couldn't stop doing. But like she was just praying that I wouldn't get caught, or like I wouldn't go do like some dumb like hot shit, like and get in trouble, get like just in trouble for it again, because all the shit that happened beforehand and shit. So yeah.
So did you tell her, hey mom, I want to be a tagger? Obviously like 18 years old, she's like probably like, oh no, like don't do that.
That'd be wild,
like did she make you go get a job right out the gate? Was school even like in the going to school or anything like that, or no?
Yeah, no doubt. You know what, it's crazy because my mom didn't pressure me a lot, like not out of negligence, but like out of love, because she knew like I was just kind of like, I had my own.
She didn't want to press your buttons.
Yeah, I had my own rhythm, and I told her like I wanted to play football after high school, but it didn't end up happening, and I was just like, okay, like because after high school I started like trying to mess with like clothing brand stuff like that. So like I started doing like different clothing brand type stuff, and started working with like some of the homies, and I was like, okay mom, like I'm gonna go to school, and which I did. I went to Rio Hondo my first like 2 years after high school. And then I went to Rio Hondo, and I just taking like, like Photoshop classes and stuff like that. But like, I don't know, I felt like that was my whole thing. Like I was like, this is what I want to do for the rest of my life. This is what I'm going to do.
So when you say you were working for clothing companies, you were designing for them, like graphic design work for
No, so
for
like
t-shirts,
I was with like two of the other homies doing like this clothing brand called Fucked Up LA, like just like super small shit. But at the time it was like, people in Whittier, the people in Whittier knew it was cracking. Like the homies Toby and Alex like put me on it on the team and shit. So it was dope as fuck to do that shit, because it kind of like sparked something that I never knew that would really like could be there. But it was a different creative outlet other than going like mobbing and shit, like going like tagging and stuff like that.
Was the Fucked Up LA connected with like LA Lemon at all, or no?
No, those are the homies. Different? Yeah, shout out to C-Free though. That fool sparked so much shit up in my head, coming from Whittier and just like being an ill ass creative. See, that dude is just so sick to me. He's one of my favorite artists / creatives to this day. Shit.
Is that what like drifted you into like interning for Deadline and all that, or was that?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah,
you feel like it helped you out?
Yeah, absolutely. That was like when my homie Kevin started working for Deadline. Like he told me I could go intern, and I was like, dude, fuck yeah. So like, I dropped everything I could do. Like every single free time I was working for, I was interning. I wasn't doing shit. I was like fucking folding t-shirts, bullshit like that, know? And then, day by day, I never fucking left. And then sure enough, it turned into getting a job there. And like I was working out LA, downtown LA every day, doing like the illest shit. Like we were just doing real cool shit. It was like the best of times, the worst of times. All of us from there could say that shit, But like it was dope though, because it just planted a seed of like meeting a lot of dope people that I'm like real cool with today, and just like kind of knowing like, a little bit more ins and outs of like what the fuck's weird and like what's not weird, even though everybody's weird, so it's like don't even matter, bro. But yeah, it was definitely like an eye-opener from being from Whittier and seeing like being able to be around like different creatives that I would have never been around, and like this side wouldn't see normally.
Mm-hmm.
Today you're into dropping clothes and a lot of different articles of accessories and whatever, right? Did you kind of pick up a lot of that stuff that about it from working at Deadline? Yeah,
no doubt. I feel like there's a big foundational game that I got from working with Deadline and working with just like, honestly, it's like from the people that I met and like, like bouncing off of each other and like starting to understand like, my knowledge on, like the whole like streetwear quotations industry and stuff like that was just so like vast and just like different, and going there kind of like humbled me down, I guess you could say, like kind of let me see stuff different ways. So it was cool. Like I learned so much game. Shout out to all the homies that I met there. Yeah, for sure.
That's cool. So where does that bring us today? So you've gone through all this stuff, right? Maybe you grew up, tagging. Your mom never gave up on you. You went to go do these internships and all this stuff, and today, one thing that before we even get to today, that I think is big about you that I saw and I was like, damn, that's fucking inspiring. That's pretty crazy. You left one of the most secure and like sought after jobs. One of the most secure and sought after jobs that anybody like American dream type shit like that people would love and kill for, and you're like, fuck this ain't for me, like, and you finessed it and figured out a way to leave, and you are where you are today. During that time when you were like transitioning from that job to becoming a full-time artist, were you scared?
Yeah, absolutely. I was scared, but I was so fed up, bro. Like, you know, like it became like being an artist started becoming a reality when I started having like really successful drops with clothing, and just like the nonstop like want to create, and the nonstop like position I was in, being able to create, like people asking me to paint stuff, and like, you know, having just commissions stacked on top of each other, telling people no, like constantly, and you know, like that all played a part in just like brain racking bullshit work that I would do too, you know, like it was a great, like you said, like, bro, I gave up an American dream, you know, to be doing what I'm doing. Like I gave up fucking a normal ass life, a normal stress-free life, you know, to a point, like buying a house anytime soon, like, you know, like just so much different stuff, like
crazy health benefits,
yeah,
crazy
dude,
benefits.
My kids are good, you know, my kids would have been good if I would have never left my job, you know, not that I had kids, but it's just like, you know, that's as an adult, you know, that's the shit you think about. But there was just a calling that, you know, like I felt like God's calling was just so much bigger than, you know, like me fucking doing all the bullshit work that I did have to do there, because some of it was like demeaning, and some of the people working there was super demeaning. So it's like, you know, like it was getting to the point where I just wanted to like smack the shit out of people there, like, cause there's just, you know, mad disrespectful. It's like, and then I started being
they
like,
don't know though.
I started being a little dumb too, you know. I was like, bro, I make more money than you, shut the fuck up, you know, in my head. It's just like, bro, don't even talk to me like that, like type shit. But it was never, you know, like that's never like my whole basis and stuff like that. But you know, it was just, there's just fucking stupid. There's just like mad people that work there that just weren't the best people to be around. So like for me, you know, like overcoming like this crazy ass mountain to get where I was at in those like 3 years as an artist, to, you know, like to hear shit like that every day, and it's just like, it was just so like draining. It was so spiritually draining.
Brought your energy down.
Yeah, and like, you know, and realizing that I couldn't like progress as an artist if I had that shit every day, you know, like that would like break me, dude. That would like break me. But don't get me wrong, dog, like I pimped that shit to the fucking fullest, dog. Like you could tell anybody that worked with me, bro, like I would get there in the morning, bro, we get in our truck, I drive to the job early, I'd have my iPad, I'd whip out my iPad, start designing shit until work started. We're like working, break time, I'm back designing shit, or I'm drawing something. Like once break time's over, working again, lunch break, I fucking eat my food in like 10, 15 minutes, bro, and I'm fucking drawing again. Like you could, God is my witness, bro. Like I did that every single day, bro. Like there was no break in between that. Like I was never bullshitting unless it was a Friday and like the homies are out here like having fun on a Friday, you know? Other than that, like I was legit just on program every single day, trying to get better. It's like, you know, sometimes I was making more money like designing logos for somebody than I was that whole day at work type shit, you know? So like I was on the double, like I was team double up. I was just like on team double up, being better, like financially, anything I could do to like keep pressing buttons, dog, because that's what I just needed to keep pressing buttons to get better and better and better. So what's working, what's not working, you know?
I remember you were always posting on your story on your iPad. I'm like, man, this guy's not even working.
Yeah, dude. I just legit just did that shit 24/7.
It's crazy that thing you say about your coworkers, like not understanding, they're just on a different wave. Sometimes they're older than you. Sometimes they don't. Sometimes they see like the youth and they're just like, oh, this guy's, you know, doing bullshitting right on the side, but like they don't understand that you're up late or you're calling off on a day to go make extra money, you're going after work to go do that, and they don't understand the hustle because they just go to work, collect that check, and they just go home. So for you, it wasn't like that.
No, absolutely. It was crazy. My work day was so crazy. Like I would wake up like 4:30, like 5 o'clock, be at work by 6. That whole work day, so 6 to 4:30, what I'm like, you know, trying to paint as much as I can in between everything. After that, like some days are super laborious, bro. Like we're pouring fucking mad concrete, like, you know, 30 feet of concrete, big ass slabs and shit, or breaking shit out, you know, whatever it is. And then from 4:30, I go straight to the gym, take a bird bath in the restroom, like go straight to the gym, 4:30, 5:30, 6:30. So like I'm back at home at like 7:30, 8. Eat real quick, go in the studio, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 1. Like I'm in the studio till 12 o'clock, 1. I slept for like 3 to 4 hours. 3 to 4 hours for like 3.5 years, bro. Like, but I was tired, bro. But like, I feel like there was just such a calling for me to get better, dog, that like being tired just wasn't a thing anymore. Like, I swear, like it was just like my purpose. Like I was purpose driven so deep that like all I wanted to do was like was to self-improve, like everything I could, because I spent like years like living under my greatness, you know, through like so much bullshit that I had going on before. So it's like through all that, I feel like I just had to. Like, there was no way I couldn't be in the studio. There was no way I couldn't go to the gym. There was no way, you know, like, I could hear no as an answer to myself to, like, not try to keep getting better at, like, painting. Because it was just, like, it was a creative calling at the same time, you know? Like, I wanted to create. My want to create, it felt like me in high school again, bro. Because, like, that's how I was. I was just, like, that's all I wanted to do, bro. I just wanted to, you know, like paint, black book, like go out somewhere, you know, like anything like that. So that calling, it was just like, it's addictive, bro. It's like, it's super
keep you
addictive.
up at night too.
Yeah, bro. So it's like, I'm gonna be like, exactly, it did, bro. You know, I'm going to sleep, just like eyes bloodshot, you know, going to work late all the time, bro. Like, you know, they get mad, but you know, once I got there, I was one of the better workers. Yeah, but yeah, no doubt. That's where the love came from, though, for sure.
I think what's crazy too is, you know, you said that, well, when you're in that line of work, you're making good money, right? You talk to people that are in the job. A lot of them will say, like, they will be scared to follow their dreams, right? Like, you tell them, oh, like, would you leave this to go do what you really want to do? They're like, hell no, I'm safe. But you were scared of staying there and being in that same position, right?
Yeah.
So you had to get the hell out of there. So I think that's dope, man.
Thank you. There's a lot of people, like, there's cool people at that job too, dog. Like, I have a lot of, like, probably lifelong homies from that job, just because, like, they used to see me doing this shit and, like, just trip out, and they used to follow me. So, like, they would see me, like, a whole day in the life completely every single day and just trip out. But a lot of people, there's a lot of people there that you, like, kind of, like, that I met, and just, like, you know, they kind of gave up in life, you know. It's like this was their last straw. But like they, you know, they got it and they finessed it their way, and they're doing that their whole life. So it's like being around people like that kind of like motivated me to be like, dude, I can't be just like this fool, you know, like. And then there was some people that were like, you know, like, nah, follow your dreams, dude, get out of here, like, get out of here already. So it's like
a lot of jobs are dream killers, dude.
Yeah, no doubt. But you know that a lot of people just, you know, need to get their money the way they can. Or shit, you know.
I once heard this quote, and this is what was kind of a little bit of a catalyst for me to go from, like, job to entrepreneur, right? And this entrepreneur said, if you go to a convalescent home, right, nursing home, whatever, you talk to all these old people, not a single one of those fucking people are ever going to tell you that they regret the things they did. They're always going to regret the things they didn't do, right? Like, they didn't leave their job to go try this. They didn't go take that trip, whatever. So for me, that, like, made me switch and, like, go to entrepreneur mode. Was there a specific time or anything you heard that was like, fuck, I got to do this. I got to see this out, like, that you recall?
When did those masks get created full time?
You know what? It was on
in the head.
So like, it was like, well, like, my first jump, my official jump started from, you know, like, constantly having this work and, like, being so fucked up in the head, not being able to take certain work, take this, take that. My homie Aaron Dela Cruz out of San Francisco, I've, like, assisted him on some walls in, like, Hawaii before, like, a couple of spots around. He hit me up to go to Minnesota, and it was for 2 weeks. Like, 2 weeks paid to assist them on a huge ass, like, 9-story fucking building. And I was like, dude, I have to go. Like, this is it. Like, finesse your time. Like I built up all this time, you know, up and down from like, you know, leaving work to go paint. But like, this is the time, like this is my jump. And like, that was when I wanted to make the jump. And dude, ever since that jump, I've never looked back. Shout out to my homie. Like it was legit like that one last time where it's like, this is it. Like you're going to do this shit full time. Like this is it. Yeah. This is it. Like it wasn't, I don't think anybody's ever ready. Like I feel like it's a jump or don't jump, you know, like, cause there's no safety net out here, bro. Like, you know, so it's like, it's so scary, but it's been one of the most fulfilling things I think I've ever done in my life, you know, is making that jump and, you know, being above water and being below water, you know, like this whole creative lifestyle is so crazy. It's so brain racking and like anxiety filled, and it's just, there's so much just waves and roller coasters that you have to ride as a creative, because sometimes, you know, you're on top of the world, you know, super busy, and then sometimes it slows down and you're not used to being so slow, and it's just, you know, it's just so mentally draining. But I don't know, what helps me is definitely like the factor that I help a lot of people, and I inspire a decent amount of people, and like I'm like an open book to certain people, and like so like a lot of people pick my brain on Instagram, and I get like, you know, a lot of like ill comments that like remind me like why I do this shit, you know, like the people like I'm servicing people that were just like me, you know, like people that were lost at one point in their life and like, you know, trying to figure it out. Like a lot of people are on day one, you know, some people like, you know, I get the illest DMs sometimes, bro. Like I'm very open, you know, I feel like I get that a lot. Like I'm real open on my Instagram, and some people, you're too open. Like I'm like, aren't you scared people are gonna say something? I'm like, nah, bro, like, cause that's what I wanted to hear when I was lost, bro. Like I needed to hear somebody be real with me, bro. Like I needed to get that connection. So like I feel now I'm trying to be the person that I was always looking for when I was like, you know, at the bottom, and like, you know, through my whole drug addiction and everything, like from day one, like that's the person I'm trying to be. I'm trying to project myself to, and like, you know, I still fuck up, bro. It's like I say that shit all the time. I still talk openly about that shit. But, you know, I haven't like relapsed or nothing, but like, you know, I still make bad decisions, you know, like not educated, grown decisions at times, but it's all the bounce back, you know, how you bounce back from situations.
Prior to this era, right, your hustler era where you're grinding it out, going to work and all this shit, I'll just call that your hustler area. I met you in June of 2018. I don't know if you remember we went to the lake that one day.
Yeah.
Lake Piru.
Yeah, Piru.
I think that was the end of like your darkest times, right? If I recall.
Yeah, bro.
And
that was like, that was, what is April, May, June? That was 2 months clean, bro.
So I want to talk to you. What were the early stages of your dark times, or what was that like? What did you start falling into and
oh yeah, dude, it was shit got dark, bro. It was real dark for a while. It was fun. Like, don't get me wrong, shit was fun, bro. Like doing drugs is so fucking fun. Like it's a nonstop party, and it's just, anyways, like that was a crazy time, dude. It was fucking super. It was yeah, it was a lot. It was a lot, but
was this like high school when all that started? Was it like after? Like, how did it affect work? Did it affect your creative space? Did it affect family? Like, how was it? Like, take us to like when you knew it was a problem.
Okay, I like kind of timeline it. So when I was in high school, after high school, I was doing trying to do like graphic design and stuff like that. Fucked up, and then I started working at Deadline. Had like another job, started working at Deadline. And when I started working at Deadline, I was just doing warehouse work. And my creative spirit got broken down because I wasn't able to do a lot of certain stuff. So I wasn't really creating. So at that point, I was turning 21. I started drinking, and like I started drinking a lot more and a lot more and a lot more. And then cocaine got brought into my life. It was always around. I'm still to this day, I feel like I'm one of the last homies that started doing it out of a lot of my homies that, like, you know, I used to be around at the time. And I started dabbling in shit, and I fell in love, dude. It was able to keep me up and keep the party going longer and shit. So like all I did was just drink and do drugs with all the money I made. Do drugs, like, bro, it got to a point where it was probably like 7-8 year span that I was only clean for like 3 days max. Wow. You know, like that was like a whole like 7-8 years of just being clean for like max of 2 to 3 days non-stop. You know what I'm saying? Like non-fucking stop. And it was just wild, bro. It was like so extra. When I started doing coke, when I started doing drugs, the creative drive in me completely dropped to the floor. There was nothing I wanted to do other than do drugs and party with my homies. Like that was the only thing I wanted to do. There was nothing. My creative drive died when I started doing drugs, and that was like at 22. And it was, you know, it was a lot for me because my whole identity was from painting and creating. So like my identity became drinking and smoking, like drinking, smoking, and, you know, fucking doing drugs and shit.
So would you say for you the drugs were just something that you really, really loved because it allowed you to just continue to drink? Because you love to drink that much? It was just like... Absolutely,
yeah. There was a good amount of like alcoholism, but like, I would say alcoholism, but at the same time, it was just being young, bro. Like, you know, I'm not shitting on people that drink all the time still. Like, it is what it is. Everybody has their time where they want to, like, you know, calm down and like slow down. Everybody has their mark. But for me, like, I wasted so much crucial time. Like I have homies that like I felt like I was going like, you know, like bar for bar with the graffiti thing and like in a creative way. And as I started doing drugs, like, you know, I let go of all that and they never went that path. And now these fools are owning shops, like illest tattoo artists in the game. Like to me, like some of my favorite tattoo artists and like, you know, like that little exiting area right there was just like everything to me that like I always look back on. I was like, damn, look how much time I wasted. Like I was just like that fool. Like I was just like him. And why is he, but like, you know, look at him, look how great he's doing.
Why can't I?
Yeah, why can't I, you know? But to this day, like I stand behind it. I never thought I'd be able to do this again. Like I never thought I could create again. Like I never thought that was gonna be a calling in my life because I was just like, I wasted too much years. There's no way I could just start painting again and shit's gonna start happening. But when I started painting again, it was because I needed to get away because I started getting over, it just became such a, just like a fucking thrash, a fucking like just shit show of my life of just constantly doing drugs and partying every day. And like I started realizing my relationship with my family was bad. Like my financial like standpoint was horrible. Like I was making all this like good money and like having absolutely nothing to show for it, you know, like absolutely nothing, still staying at my house, like living at my house. And it was like, you know, ruined like, you know, good relationships with like friends, good relationships with like my family. Like it ruined like so much stuff and put like a hold on me where like, you know, I started getting over, I wouldn't say growing up, but it's growing up to a point, but like to just wanting more because I knew I was worth more, you know, because I still remember like, you know, those times where I like did an ill ass piece and like when I was younger and just being like, fuck, this is sick, you know, being my first art show, you know, like my first like ever art show was like before I started like bullshit, you know, and I remember feeling how cool it was to have like a little name tag, bro, like, and I was like, damn, and you know, looking back at it, it was just like, it was a trip.
So how long have you been clean now? It's been a while, right?
Yeah, it's been 5 years and like 4 months, yeah, 5 months, yeah, something like that.
So compared to when you started getting clean to today, now, at what point did you realize, hey, I have something on my hands, I'm really good at this, I can make a living with this, right?
Yeah.
When did you realize that? Like the transition between getting clean, or did you?
Yeah, there was two big times. One was like when I had a really successful Dodger drop, like my first Dodger drop was like really, really successful. And no, I'll take that back. It was my first time getting a wall for like a really dope tattoo studio that like I was just honored to be in. And I was just like, and after that was an avalanche of walls after I painted that. That's like my Mona Lisa wall that I did.
Was that one of the first times you used tape? Remember if you like?
Yeah, I taped out the corners. Yeah, I taped off the corners.
I remember that.
I was at Sneaky's shop. Shout out to Sneaky G. He gave me a shot. We traded a tattoo for a wall, and I just went in there for a tattoo, and then he asked me what I do. He's like, "What do you do?" I was like, "Oh, I'm a painter." And he just painted his walls white. He's like, "How did I do?" I was like, "Nah, I'm an artist." He's like, "Oh shit." He's like, "What?" Yeah, he's like, "What? Let me see your work." He's like, "Let me see your work." I was like, I showed it to him. He's like, "What's up? Paint that wall." I was like, "What, for real?" I was like, "How much did you charge me?" I was like, I didn't know how to price walls. Like, bro, I was doing walls like, you know, for the super low, but I didn't know, like, you know, I was just like, I don't know, he's like, "I'll trade you your tattoo." I was like, "What? Fuck yeah, dude!" Like,
That's
so.
sick.
Like, he did my grandpa the other day, and like I hold that shit super close. And it was that, and then what was the other one? Oh yeah, then the Dodger drop. The Dodger drop is when I showed my mom never wanted me to leave, dude. She never wanted, because I'm telling you, you know, I was fucking up my whole life. So it's like, she never wanted me to leave. And I was just like, "Mom, like, you don't understand. Like, I could do this. Like, I could do this. There's like a calling. Like, I like, it's a different world now." Because, you know, my mom came from straight hard work, bro. Like, you know, like, she got us, you know, started off as a CNA to like graduated East LA College, and like just started going for RN, like started working at Kaiser, bam, overnight. She worked night shifts for like fucking, dude, my whole entire life. All I remember is my mom's an MP now. She's head nurse practitioner at General Hospital. But like my whole entire life, all I remember is my mom working, bro. Like growing up, my whole entire life, all I remember is my mom picking me up and studying, picking me up, going to school, studying, picking me up, going, like, that's all I remember. And I was getting raised by my tia, and then my dad when he was out, you know. But yeah, it was a trip.
Do you think that seeing your mom like that, right? Hustling, grinding, did you think that instilled that same work ethic in you?
I hold that dearest to my heart, and I feel like that's one of my biggest motivations that's one of my biggest motivations of how I motivate is, like, you're gonna see me put in the work before I ever tell you I put in the work. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I swear my mom has never like told me to work hard. It kind of stems back to when you had asked. It's like my mom never pushed me to be like, "You're gonna do this, you're gonna do this and this and this. Like, you have to work hard, you have to do this." My mom just worked hard, and I seen that shit my whole life. But I was immature at one point, and then, you know, through all like the drugs and everything, like she was still killing shit, you know, still absolutely killing shit, like working mad hours. And, you know, like, I seen it, and I started realizing, like, bro, this shit's been in front of my eyes the whole entire time, you know. Like, she has the whole potions of like how to mix all this stuff and be successful. And like, dude, our house now is like, you know, the house is beautiful. Like, our family, my mom's the rock of our whole entire household, and it's just like, it's dope to see. It's dope to know that, like, she never told me that, and I understood it later, bro. Unfortunately, I understood it late, dude, you know, but it's just so much more fulfilling knowing that I know, like, she never told me, and she gave me so much game without even saying a word, you know? Mm-hmm. And now that's how I live by it, dude. This is like, bro, I'm not gonna like hype myself up on nothing. Like, you know, like, you're gonna see it before I ever say it type shit.
That's tight.
That's a high standard. That's the number one woman in your life. It's gonna be hard for someone else to come in.
I'll figure it out one day.
So like, that's like one of your drives to like work as hard as you do, to see your mom work that hard.
Yeah, bro.
And that just like motivates you to keep going.
Yeah, absolutely. That's my number one muse in my life for sure is my mom's, because like I said, dude, she bailed me out of like jail so many times. She bailed me out, got mad at me, you know, but never like turned her back on me. Like, when she knew I was doing drugs, dog. Like, I told her I was doing drugs, she just knew already. And like, you know, she could have like just went to, like, for first time getting caught selling weed, like, she was like fucking, you know, she could have done so much more. And it, you know, but it was just because she just couldn't be mad because she loved, like, her love was just super strong. So it's like, it is super strong. So it was just like super dope to have it go full circle. And now I just, like, I swear my Mom Dukes is, like, for real, like, one of my biggest muses on the side of, like, you know, a lot of other things, couple other things, you know. But yeah, it's definitely a push every day, especially when I see her, you know, like it's just like, all right,
that's awesome.
yeah, gotta get it. And now it's like, I gotta prove it to her. I still feel like I have to prove it to her, you know, but I ramble on so much. But yeah, to the Dodger drop, I showed her how much I made on my Dodger drop, and she was like, all right, I think you could do it, dude. Like, yeah, I was like, all right, yeah. I was like, see, like I'm telling you. And it's funny because all of her friends, not all of her friends, but a lot of her friends have like Instagrams and stuff. So they all follow me. So they're always telling like, oh, your meals, like your son's doing this, your son's doing that. Oh, did you see what your son does? Like, I don't send them everything. I send them like some of the cool stuff I do because I'm always in the back, you know, or I'm like painting places. Yeah. But they're like, oh, do you know what these did? Oh, do you know this? And like, they're like, they just never stop hearing the end of it. They'll go places. You know, I live in Whittier still. So it's like, they go somewhere, and I'll be showing my parents on Instagram sometimes. So people know how my parents look. They'll be like, hey, are you Dose's parents? Like, are you Dose's parents? Or they'll be wearing one of my shirts. They're like, hey, how do you know him? It's like, that's my son, motherfucker. Like, what? Like, it's funny. They always come back. Dude, every time they go to the store, not every time, but they'll be going to the store and telling me that shit all the time.
That's cool.
So somebody asked me who I was. I was like,
that for sure, I'm sure has to feel good for your mom, knowing like she never gave up on you. And then
yeah, absolutely, for sure. It has. She knows everything, bro. I told her, you know, when I broke down and told her that I was an addict and I needed help, dude, her advice was like, are you ready to stop? Like, are you at rock bottom? Because you're not gonna stop if you're not gonna. Nothing's gonna happen if you're not at rock bottom. You don't want to change. And I was just like, damn. I thought she was gonna tell me like, yeah, I'll help you go to rehab, dude. Like, I was at wit's end of like, I need to go to rehab. I couldn't stop, you know. Like, I took my first 2 month break from doing like my first 2 month break from like, I stopped drinking and doing drugs. And the first day I started drinking, I relapsed again. Like, and that was my complete meltdown. That was my last day I painted. That was my last day I did drugs. And I remember like crying out to God that night. Like, I was like, dude, help me. I need this switch up in my life. Like, I can't do it anymore. Like, I need to be different. I need to stop. And dude, ever since that day, I went to talk to my mom the next day, and then she told me that. I was just like, damn, I thought I was gonna go to rehab or something. I was like, I thought for sure I was gonna be in rehab, and she's like, she just hit me with that, and I was like, I looked at it, I was like, damn, I was like, all right. I was like, that's crazy. But as the time started passing, I started realizing how real that what she said it was, you know, like I legit like, am I ready? Like, you know, like it's on me. This shit's like, it's not gonna be on anybody else. I'm not gonna stop unless I stop. And you know, then just all the crazy emotions that come with the roller coaster that comes with trying to be clean and having to step away from all your homies and like, you know, stepping out of line. Like, I got off of Instagram for a whole year. I got off of social media for a whole year. So like, that was like how you said OG 2 more beers. Yeah, real shit. Yeah, that was the OG. That was my Instagram handle. So when I came back, so when I flipped it back up. But
so would you say that your friends were a big part of like influencing you to do that, to continue living that life? Or
yeah, no, you know, it's just being around certain crowds. But I put myself in those crowds every time, you know. Yeah. And like, I'm still in those crowds now. I say that because I'm in those crowds now, and I'm still like, I'm cool now, you know. Yeah. Don't get me wrong, like shit, I still like think like, what if like I'm all fucked up or some shit, like I'm like, man, what if I did do that? I'm like, dude, what the fuck, like no way, like, you know, like just it's just funny, like I could really like be like, damn, I remember back in the day I'll just be fucking sniffing that whole shit up, or like, you know, like just going fucking super hard, partying like for 2 days straight with the homies. I know I would be there. I wouldn't have missed that for sure.
I got an important question right here. People probably want to know this. So talking about OG 2 more beers, right? Where did that name come from? Because I think we can kind of tell where Dos Mas came from, but how did that start?
Yeah, it was just party. It was just some party shit. You know, not party, but like, you know, drink some beers, 2 more. So like, I remember when I was switching I don't know my old name. Well, I don't even remember my old Instagram name. I think it was like Solace Loke or some shit like that. Like something funny. But I just remember I wanted to change my name, and I wanted to have like a beer in it.
It's a good name.
Yeah, and then two is it's a good name. Two was always like one of my numbers. Rest in peace, Twig. And just like, I don't know, 2 was like always an ill number to me. And it was just 2. It was relatable because it's never 1 beer, it's 2 beers. You know, it's a type of stuff.
You know, that's your like full-time identity now. I remember I'll talk about you and I'll say Daniel Salas. People have no clue what I'm talking about. They're like, who? And I'm like, oh, he does tag, you know. Nah, I don't know. I'm like, oh, well, he also goes by Dos Mas. Oh, okay. It's always that.
For sure.
Always that.
Yeah, it's a different alibi now.
I don't know
When
if I'm
you
supposed to
first
say.
started painting, your at was still 2 Mo beers, right?
It was 2 Mo beers, yeah, and then it turned into Dos Mas 37. Rest in peace, my homie Paul, the 37, and then it turned into Dos Mas Studios when I got my studio.
Why'd you switch?
It didn't flow to me. I didn't want to have numbers in it, and I wanted something just clean, smooth. And then I had a studio, and I was just all hyped up, and like I felt like I was really being a fucking artist out here. And I was just like, all right, fuck that studio, let's do the studios on it.
That's it.
And it just transitioned. But like it was legit, like it was like a mantra. Like you know how people say mantras for shit to come alive. Like bro, when I threw the studios on it, like that's when I got my studio. That's when it was just like I'm getting home to my studio. I can't fucking wait. Like bro, sickest shit I ever like. Dude, thank God. Shout out to my pops. Or else I probably would have had a studio and lost it at the time. You know when it was time when I started looking for studios, because there was a time when I started looking for studios and then COVID hit. You know. But COVID hit both ways, because for me, it turned me into the greatest artist I am to this day, because it closed everything. I stopped drinking. Like I still, still dabbling around drinking. I still drink, but I was drinking. I started like sliding, kind of like leaning towards like drinking a little bit more than I should have, than creating, And so when everything got shut down, bro, it was just like me and painting, and all eyes were on everybody on Instagram. What was everybody doing? Everybody was at home on the phones,
Yeah.
Like watching TV. Like Netflix went to $1 billion, $1 trillion company and shit, Like, so there was a lot of people working, despite the fact of a lot of people not working, But a lot of those people that were working, dude, I sold so much pieces during COVID. It's just, and it cut out all the distractions around me. It was just either low ride or paint. And I was still working at the time. So when I got home, I wasn't going to the gym because the gym was closed. And I had an extra 2-3 hours on my hand, and I'm just painting. And I just I started diving into different styles more and more and more. And, different styles started like evolving, and the appetite to get better, the appetite to create started really blossoming, and it just turned into like this beautiful evolution in my head of, this is what I need to be doing now. Like I need to be this person again. Like, like this is where it was at when I first started painting again. But like after like my first 2 years actually having money and being able to do stuff other than drinking and partying, that's when I was like, oh shit, this is, I started, kind of slipping, like, okay, I'm kind of drinking a little too much. And then COVID hit, and then back to program. Like that shit reset my whole entire life, I feel like, because that's like towards the end of it, I was like, okay, I need to start working out again more, but I was creating a lot more still. So I was like, okay, cool. And then that's when I left my job, and that's when shit just went to the moon, Yeah.
How did people find you in the beginning? Like, were you posting a lot, like your art, or how did people find out who you were?
It was just through Instagram, bro. Like dead ass through Instagram, and then word of mouth. Like to this day, it still is. I feel like I don't have, I don't have any other. Like I have a TikTok, but I don't use it. Like I don't use it like I should. I know you tell me to use that shit. I know, dude. I know.
Dollar signs.
But I am the worst. I'll be on my phone too much sometimes. So I know if I have TikTok, I'm gonna be scrolling just like I'll be scrolling on everything else, on the side of, the good shit I should be doing towards it. So like I kind of push myself away from it.
I get that too. It's hard like to use it only for the good part of it and put yourself out there, but. You're still, either way, you're still growing at a successful rate. So talking about like growing and shit from here on out, where do you go next? What's next? Any sneak peeks on anything you got coming up in the future that you want to talk about, or any plans?
Nah, dude, I'm just, it's crazy. So I've came to a point where, as of like this year, I've started playing with color a lot more. I brought color into my work. I finally started bringing. I was only a single line artist for the longest, but that's like my origins, that's my heart. Like that's what started me as Dos Mas Studio. So like I forever love that aspect of my life, that aspect of my work. And it's what created this whole color movement, figuring out how different lines sit on top of each other, this line sitting on this one, and just stuff like that. And dude, what was the question again? My bad. Fuck.
What's next?
Oh yeah,
sneak peeks. What do you got going on?
Yeah. Well, it's just so now.
He's like, no sneak peeks.
Yeah, it's like now. It's like I'm at a point where I'm being able to create whatever I want, and people are still gravitating towards it. So it's like yesterday, I told myself I want to mix color, because I've been on this lettering tip recently. So I've been doing pieces with lettering in it, like quotes and stuff like that, like kind of uplifting shit that I liked, that I used to love hearing when I was getting clean, like to like kick me over that little hump that I was going through that day, like a song that I played repeat like 10 times that day, type shit like that.
Mac, Kendrick.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, it's definitely. And so now it's like, I don't know. I tripped out on it yesterday, because I've been in a very blessed position to keep making work and people buying like my work that I don't have commissioned, So like, I feel like whatever's on my mind, I'm doing it now. Like, I'm in a beautiful position to be like, I want to grow in this aspect today. I want to, I've been doing lettering, so I'm like, now let me do some color again. And like, I did this piece yesterday, and it was fucking probably the illest piece. Beautiful. Like, yeah, you hit me how like, so many people like really hit me like on some real shit. They're like, bro, this shit is fucking amazing. I was like, damn, bro, like that's fire. Hell yeah, like no, on some like real shit. Like so much people were like, nah, like so a bunch of girls were saying it's so pretty. Like I was like, dude, I never had my work called that, because it was all pink, So like, but aesthetically it was beautiful, and I was just like, damn, bro, I'm on the right path. Like, I've been wanting to do lettering. I've been doing lettering. Everything's been doing like so good numbers wise with like interactions and stuff like that, and people hitting me and telling me like, yo, this shit like how like this shit really moves me type stuff. And like for me now as a creative, it's like I feel like everything I do, it has to have the purpose of why I'm here now, and that's to be the person that I was looking for as a younger lost kid.
Other people,
to influence, So like, I get it, and I get it from people. So it's like, I know I'm doing that to like, dude, I don't give a fuck how many followers I have, how many like, all this shit. But that little range of people that I truly help, that's all bro, I have the chills right now. Like, that's all I care about. Like, and I want to keep doing my best. Like, that shit humbles me to do my best every single day, bro. Like, cause I remember, like, even when I'm out on the weekends, like, bro, like, to not like relapse and shit, It's like, dude, I'm laying down so much people if I were to ever do this shit again. Like, people come to me saying they're suicidal, but like, that's how open my DMs are to like, like that's the range of people that hit me and stuff like that. And it's like, it's beautiful and it's scary, but it's a blessing, to be able to like talk someone down to it, out of it, or like try to switch a mood, or even talking to somebody about like having a bad day, bro. Like, and like I can never turn my shoulder on it, because like I don't know, I always have to be open. There's weirdos out there too, don't get me wrong. Like, there is, but there's like there people like I never take it in like a wrong way as like a job. Like, I feel like this is a blessing, like to be able to help somebody, and for them to be open enough to, like that's some real shit. For them to just hit me about that is like pretty wild.
Do you see it like you see it as, what if that was me when I was 23, 24? It's like, if I was crying out for help and I looked up to this figure who's so impactful, like, and he turned me down. It's like, I can't do that. I can't be that guy.
Bro, I lose sleep off that shit. Like, that's why it's funny, because like I hate being on my phone so much, but I know I need to. But then there's people like that, I get those messages. I get messages like that and stuff. So it's like, I know I have to respond. Like, I'll stop what I'm doing in the middle of what I'm doing when I open it and just be like, I have to respond. I cannot like fuck up and leave this on red, because I know it'll get lost. It probably took yeah, it does, dude. Like, a lot of people. There's like movement on my DMs from like people just liking my stuff, saying, oh, it's fire, like ill, this is dope, like shit like that. So it kind of gets lost every once in a while with certain stuff. So like, I'll stop what I'm doing to make sure like I can't leave this on red and have anything on my shoulders, God forbid something were to happen and like I would feel guilty from it.
It's safe to say right here on the podcast, if they're listening, that hey, if you sent Dos Mas a message and he didn't get back to you, send him another one and he'll...
Send me another one, please. I got
and then if you don't, text him at 5 stars. So not only are you inspiring, with it's you being clean from your addiction, it's your artwork, but you go to the gym all the time, and me and Jonathan see you, and you're just doing pull-ups off of the side of the wall. You're over here like, it's crazy.
What'd you say? My feet are never on the floor?
Your feet are we see you in the air.
Yeah, that's right. Dog, shout out to the calisthenics, dog. That's all that. that shit gave me a whole new love for working out. Like, swear to God, it was like, it made everything fun for me, bro. Like, I just wanted to, it was like another self-improvement shit. It's like, I always wanted to do, like, I always thought doing pull-ups were cool. Like, seeing people like doing pull-ups, I was like, damn, that's fire. You know, like doing dips and like all these like different planks and shit on the bars and stuff. And I was like, damn, that's dope. And then I was like, man, I could do that shit. What the fuck? Well, why can't I? You know? Dude, I looked like an idiot trying to figure those out for so long. And now it's like, bro, this is all I care about. Like, it's the only reason why I want to go to the gym. I was like, nah, I need to get my pull-ups in. Like, I need to do something new, like on the bar. I need to try to like work on like the typewriters. Let me try to work on my muscle ups. I need to get back to my 10 rep muscle ups and shit.
We'll make a joke. We're like, dude, Daniel's hanging from the thing. I'm like, does he not know that there's dumbbells here? Like,
we'll be doing something totally different, right? We'll be hitting legs or whatever. And I'll look at, like, you know how like when you're a kid, right? You're shooting a paper in a trash can, like, oh, Kobe. We'll be hitting legs, and then in the middle, like, I'll start doing pull-ups. Hey, dos más.
Gotta do your dos masas. We're like, dude, this guy pays X amount of dollars for the gym. He's not even using all the equipment. He could do this at home.
But for real,
still getting it in.
Would you say that? Because I think I want, like, for this podcast, like, the reason why I started it, a part of it is, like, just to inspire other entrepreneurs out there. Because, like, I love my fucking life. I love what I do every single day. I get up, and it's like, fuck, other people should feel this desire, too, to, like, get up every day and not hate their fucking life, right? So to make that impact, would you say that working out, like, I feel like you really, not that you didn't work out before, you really picked up on it the past couple of years, right? Would you say that only amplifies and like really turns up like everything in your life, like anything, like?
Absolutely. It's turned into a point where now I can't be creative unless I work out, bro. Yeah. I have to have a reset button, because like I go through so much stuff in the studio, you know, like in life, in my household's not the, you know, best place still, you know, so it's like I go through so much stuff, and I constantly need the shut the fuck up reset button and beat my ass in the gym, bro. Like, you guys see me, like, bro, I don't play around when I go to the gym. Like, I leave that bitch drenched. Like, I'm really out here trying to work out harder than anybody around me, like, even when I'm at the gym. And it's like, I need that walk out of there. You know that feeling when you walk out of a fucking sick ass one? It's just like, all right, like your head is clear. Yeah. Like, you just feel, skin feels like all clean, like cleansed and shit. And it's just, your mind is just straight. And it's all right, now like a creative juice flies over my, like, and like over a creative like flow just kind of enters my body after the gym. And it's just like, okay, I want to paint, I want to do something, I want to create something. I feel like the gym entices my creative flow so fucking much. Yeah. Now, like, it's undeniable, because there's times when I wasn't going to the gym and I'm having shitty days in the studio, like every day, having shitty days, like when I'm not in there. So it's like, I know what it does to me, and like, nobody could tell me anything different, because like, that's how I know that's how my body works. Yeah. You know?
I think let that be a lesson. That's exactly what I wanted to hear. Like, if you're out there like struggling and you can't seem to get over like the hill or whatever, I think just start working out. Go for a walk, bro. Yeah. Simple as that.
You know what's crazy is when I first left my job, dude, I struggled so much, like, creatively, because I just started saying, like, fuck yeah, I'm gonna paint all day now. Like, and I was just burning out in the studio, dog, like legit burning out in the studio. And like, it got to a point where I was like, I don't even know what to paint. Like, I don't even know what I'm doing. Creative wall block, like a complete creative wall. And I couldn't find myself, and like, I was trying. And then I was like, man, fuck this. Like, I'm just gonna dedicate the next 2 weeks to working out and not even go in the studio. So this is like, dude, I didn't even have the luxury. I didn't even have the money to do it, but I was just like I got to do something different to like figure out what my program is. Like, I was going at different times of the day. And then like, I found my first, like 10 o'clock schedule. And I was like, this works good, you know? Go to the studio in the morning. After 10 o'clock, go to the gym. It's a reset button. Now I'm back in the studio and start painting again. Like, it started working. And then, you know, all that time passes by, and I learned my 5 o'clock program. My 5 o'clock program is just undeniable now. Yeah, those 5 a.m.s hit different, bro. Real shit.
Gotta get on that.
Yeah, bro. Like, it's a whole different. I feel elite, bro. I feel super elite.
You look elite in the gym, dude.
I'm saying like 5 o'clock. That's why you see everybody post 5 o'clock workouts. I always used to be like, show off, like, dude, why are you posting that shit every day? But like when you're walking out at 5, like, or you're walking into the gym at 5, it's like, damn, nobody's up, bro. Like, I'm make sure everybody sees I'm fucking working out.
You won
when
the
you're
day
sleeping.
already when you do that.
Yeah, bro. And then like my productivity is just through the roof. Like on Tuesday, I had the best day painting that piece. Like I had. It was such a spiritual boost. Like, dude, I live for like little days like that. Like just having those days there where I kill a day and just like, okay, it's in me, bro. It's in me. Don't forget it. Like, you know, it's still here. Yeah. It's still here. Cause some days, you know, I'm in the studio going through the motions still. And just knowing I have to be there, so I'll be there, you know, still do like be productive in certain ways. But there's some days where I just get like total relief that I'm on the right track in the studio sometimes. And like that was shit. Tuesday was one of them, dude. Crazy that we're talking today. Yeah, 2 days later. Yeah. So it's cool as fuck.
Is it I know, like, just to touch on like the merchandise stuff, like you releasing t-shirts. I don't know if you've ever released any hats. Have you released any hats?
I released one set of hats. Well, 3 different colorways in hats.
Is it the ones that you hand drew on the front?
No. Those are like 101 items. But I released hats like 3 years ago. But I got hats coming. So like, I have a collab coming with one of the homies for sure. Mm-hmm. You guys will find out. You guys will find out next time.
So like to this day, like all the stuff you drop, is it weird seeing other people wear your stuff and you're out like in public and you see it? Because I remember we were at opening day like 2 years ago and you saw someone wearing a jean jacket you did for charity. Is it weird seeing it in the open? And like, do you go up to people and be like, oh, hey, that's me? Or like, no, is it weird?
No.
That's just something I think about.
That's a real question. No, because it's funny, because I'm sure other people probably think about that too. Nah, I don't. I don't, and I do. It depends. So it's like, if it's an old ass piece that they're wearing, I'm like, yo, what the... Like I walk up, I'll just be like looking at them, and if they recognize me, like I was Batman for my whole entire life as Dos Mas. I just barely started showing my face. Yeah. So it's like people didn't know how I looked for the longest, dude, because I never showed my face. So it's like I would go up to people and be like, oh, I was like, that's a dope shirt. They're like, oh yeah, thanks, dude. Like some food Dos Mas that they did on Instagram. I was like, this dude don't know. I was sick. I was like, hey,
shit.
Yeah. I was like, hey, bro. I was like, I'm Dos. I was like, dude, hit me up. I'm gonna give you something. Like, I'm gonna ship you something. When I like, just hit me up. Hit me up on Instagram. He's like, no fucking way, you're Dos. I'm like, yeah. He's like, dude, you're fucking sick. You know, just like little interactions like that. But sometimes I won't say anything. But now it's like I'm starting to show my face a little bit more, and like, you know, I'd make little cameos every once in a while. But now it's like people will like tell me and stuff like that. It's cool. I love to see it. You know, it's always like they always have like nice words to say, bro. Like it's never been. They're
rocking with you.
Yeah, I don't have no complications in life, so it's like I'm never like worried about some weird shit happening.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, hell yeah.
What's some advice you can give some artists? 'Cause I feel like there's a lot of people that are like into art. Even like my uncle. My uncle's a great artist. He actually was a full-time like painter. He lived in San Francisco for a little bit.
Sick.
And then he had to get a full-time job because he had a family and stuff. But he still like loves like NFT stuff, you know, especially during COVID. But what's some advice you can give to like some artists that are kind of scared to like take that leap and, you know, pursue it?
It's corny as fuck, bro, but follow what you want to do in your heart, bro. You know, like if it's calling you, you know, answer that shit. Go hard. Like, go after it, fail, go fuck up a couple times. Remember how it feels to lose a couple times, and go after what you care about. You know, like I feel like if I would have never went after what I cared about and stopped thinking about what other people thought about me, I would have never be here. You know, like I feel I had to drop this little image I had in my head of who I was in order to move in a different pace. And when I did that, like everything, doors just started opening for me, because I wasn't scared to fail anymore, because I've been failing my whole fucking life. So it's like I just got used to failure as I started getting used to taking failures as like lessons and shit, and you know, trying to move on from point A to point B, even though like I was getting stuck in between like the whole entire time.
Yeah.
you were already at the bottom at one point. It's like, what worse could it?
What else is there to lose?
Best way to put it, yeah, absolutely. It was just like, there's no way I could. I mean, I'm sure I could got it worse, but like, so I could have smoked some crack. It could have been different, but I was doors away from that.
Yeah.
But like, still, you know, like. But honestly, though, like, from my whole standpoint, absolutely, like, I was just, I was legit absolutely bottom, like absolute rock bottom. So it's like, I understand how it feels to be there, and these losses are nothing like losses of me like relapsing. So it's like, I take everything as like a mental cycle of like, I was so worse before, bro. Like, you know, anxiety through the roof, depression through the roof, you know, like tendencies, like, you know, suicidal tendencies through, like, bro, like shit like that is wild, bro. Like mental health is just on -10 and shit, you know?
Yeah.
So it's like, now the adversities are so different, and it's just like, bro, shut up. It's not that bad. It's not that bad. It's not that bad. So it definitely plays a part.
I have one final question to ask you before we let you go. I asked this question to all the guests. So if right now you can go back to a point in your life, your younger self, let's say the point at which you were at your rock bottom and you approached your mom, like, Mom, I'm done. I need to go to rehab. If you can go back and tell yourself one thing, what would you tell yourself?
Yeah, the easiest way to say it, the corniest way to say it is, everything's gonna be all right. Like, honestly, I couldn't picture everything being all right in my head. It sounds so corny, you know, but like nothing was all right, bro. Like, and I couldn't see past the fucking day because of my addiction. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I couldn't picture my life without. I came to a realization that I was going to be doing drugs my whole entire life. I was like, my wife, whoever I marry, this is going to be hidden from their family. I'm never going to have a normal life. Like, there was 100% acknowledgement of this is who I am for the rest of my life, because I knew the addiction was so strong. So it's like, I never thought I was going to be okay. Like, I thought that was my life and I was just going to be a failure. So like, even day one, I didn't believe in myself because I failed again after, like, you know, trying to stop for so long. But, you know, something, God touched me, bro. God touched me and like put me on his shoulders and dragged me through so much different situations where I could have relapsed, and started building a strength in my head to be like, I think I'm gonna get through this, you know, I'm gonna be okay.
Without those struggles, you probably wouldn't be those moms, right?
Yeah, no doubt. And like, I wouldn't take anything back, bro, because I wouldn't be able to help the people I help. You know, I wouldn't be able to have the story that I have to help the people that I'm helping now. And like, I feel like that's my biggest blessing, is being able to help people that are just like, we're just like me, you know, just needing and wanting and doing anything for a mental peaceness for 2 minutes, just so it could get you over a little hump that you're just stuck on. You know, I'd be like, listen, dude, to this day, like, I have quotes all on my phone. Whenever I hear something ill, I put it, like, I'll write it down. You know, like, I just have quotes like crazy in my phone. My top 10 songs on, like, my top 20 songs on my iTunes are all from, like, you know, what is it, the top 100 on iTunes? The top 20 songs are still songs from a playlist that I had when I was getting clean. Like, that's how much I just needed to hear, like, that little thing to get me, like, to get me through the day, bro. Because, dude, I'm telling you, I could never see it. I was not going to be okay. I wasn't okay. I couldn't see it. Like, even years in, like a year in, I was still, you know, battling, bro. I still battle to this day, you know, but the battles aren't as strong as before, you know, but yeah.
Everything's going to be all right. All right, well, I have a strong feeling after this episode we're going to have a shitload of new listeners, a lot of new people coming in. So if you guys like this episode, we can't have another Mr. Dos Mas on, obviously, because that's a 101. But make sure to like, follow, subscribe. We're going to get a lot more entrepreneurs on here, a lot of inspiration. If there's anything out there that you want to do with your life, whether it's paint, whether it's own a business, whether it's whatever it is, right? You can do it, and we want to hope to drive that inspiration in you. So thank you guys so much for listening, so much for watching. Thank you, Dos Mas, for coming on.
Thank you.
First interview ever.
Second, first full interview. I've never done a full interview. Shout out to Tackle Box. I did in between with Tackle Box, but yeah.
Hour and 10 minutes. All right.
All right.
Well, thank you guys so much for listening. We'll catch you on the next
I got
one.
one more. To anybody that thinks they can't do something, do it, bro. I don't do interviews. I pass them up all the time because I'm fucking horrified of public speaking. And this is like a crazy ass fear of mine. I did it. I'm pretty sure I stuttered. I just stuttered it. I stuttered and I lost track of where I'm going in my head. But shout out to the homies, gave me comfortable in doing this shit. I don't do interviews, but this is family right here. So hell yeah. So I'm glad to be here. Much love.
That's that, bro.
My brother.
My
brother.
Hell yeah.